Hi guys, I hope you've all had a great Easter weekend. I wanted to film today to talk to you a little bit about food and diet. I've had a few questions asking me what kind of foods I eat, what my diet's like, any staple foods I'd recommend. So my initial idea was to take you guys round a big shop with me, but confession time, went to the local supermarket and it was so busy. I tried doing a bit of filming and felt ridiculous. I couldn't do it. People staring at you in the veggie aisles, that pressure, it's too much. So I called it a day, did my shopping, and I'm just going to show you from the comfort of my flat what I brought. And I'm kind of glad that I've had these questions surrounding diet, because I also want to make the point of, forget the elimination diets, forget these fads that are out there like the 5-2, the 30-day shreds, the elimination diets, Weight Watchers, Slimming World. Like, I'm sure they all have their positives, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to making good choices. We all know, well, you'd hope that we all know deep down what is classed as a good food, what's classed as not so good, but there's no need to ditch certain food groups. And considering for most of us the end goal is to be healthy, to eat well, maybe to lose weight, if not to grow, then following those kind of plans can do the opposite to your body. They can be detrimental, and they can lead you to intolerances, and it's not good. You don't need it. People overcomplicate things when I feel like it can be so simple. My friends laugh at me. If you know me, I'm quite boring when it comes to food. I like to keep things simple. James is exactly the same. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. We keep things as simple as we possibly can. And I find the best way to think about it is, if a food has one ingredient, chances are it's good, go for it. If it's got multiple ingredients, chances are it's going to be full of some kind of rubbish, additives, some kind of processed food that you don't want to be eating too much of. Now, of course, I'm by no means perfect. I don't eat chicken and rice all day, every day. I had the best weekend with James. We ate far too much and we had a great time. If you follow me on Instagram, check out this Tim Tam cheesecake that he surprised me with. It's the best thing I've ever tasted. Anyway, back to it now, and back to eating well for this week. Time to undo a little bit of damage. And yeah, so I hope this is helpful in some way. I hope it isn't too boring. So starting off with protein sources, I'm going to start with the one that everyone knows and everyone's going to be expecting: chicken breast. You don't have to do the plain chicken and broccoli that everyone assumes. We eat chicken quite a lot, so we mix it up we have a cupboard full of spices. So switching up the spice, switch up the flavour. There's loads of sauces out there that you can use. It doesn't have to be plain, it doesn't have to be boring. You've just got to use your imagination a bit. Next on the list, since being in Australia, we've discovered Basa fillets. And so these in particular, you get, for every 250 gram serving, that's 2 fillets, you get 31 grams of protein and less than 2 grams of carbs and less than 2 grams of fat. You can't go wrong with that. It's perfect. Usually I have that post-workout at the moment. James has it about 3 times a day, but I can't do that, I'd get sick of it. So that's another good one. Whitefish is always going to be a winner. And then eggs. I love eggs. Poached, boiled, fried, scrambled, however you want them. Eggs are wicked. I usually have 3 for breakfast in the morning, but it's another food that you can mix up so easily. Add some veggies in or meat. Such a good source of both protein and fat. And then lastly, the main one that we use, Impact Whey from Myprotein. To be completely honest, we go with this protein because I think it's the cheapest on the market. We get 5 kilos for about £30, I think. And Myprotein always have such good offers on, you can always get some discount. Tastes amazing, always good with protein, and we also have it for a post-workout shake as well. The only thing I would say, we're in off season at the moment, so everything's fairly chilled, but when we go back into prep, I think we are going to switch up the protein that we have, only because I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend that when I have this protein, I sometimes get a bit of stomachache or bloat. I think it is just because it's quite cheaply made, and with protein I think you do get what you pay for, so if you pay a little bit more, it can be a little bit kinder on your stomach. But if you're just looking for a protein source on a budget that tastes good, by all means give it a go. Next on the list we have fat. I've already spoken about eggs. Along with eggs, nuts are always a good form of fat to use. The only problem for me being that I'm allergic to some nuts, meaning that James can't also have some nuts as well. So we stick with almonds just to play it safe. I don't know what it is about Australian almonds, but they taste incredible. They're so tasty. But a good thing with almonds, you get a lot of bang for your buck, as James always says. I have about 20 as a portion, so it's a good handful. But then on the opposite end of the scale when it comes to fats, you could also go with something like peanut butter. As I say, that's the opposite end of the scale, so you'd probably get about a teaspoon for a serving's worth. So it's nice to mix it up every so often and have something like peanut butter, which feels like a bit of a treat, but be warned, you don't get a lot. And then it's also very easy to go way over with something like protein, because we all know that 1 teaspoon is nothing. That tiny little bit, you're going to want more, and peanut butter is very calorie dense, so down to you, but I'd say make sure you track it. Yeah, and then the only other thing, a lot of people use coconut oil as a fat source. Again, the only thing I'd say is so dense in calories. I like to get the most out of my calories in food. Maybe I'm greedy, I don't know, but you may be happy to use something like coconut oil and just cook your food in it, but I would rather eat something and have more food to eat as part of my calories. So again, coconut oil is a good one, but completely down to your preference again. So next up we've got carbs. Everyone loves oats. Any kind of gym goer, bodybuilder, competitor, everyone loves protein. You can't go wrong with them. I like protein before I train personally. I get a big bowl in, and sometimes before bed as well. Along with oats, another big one is rice. We have them in these big containers, by the way, because we just slam through them. So we stock up on them and then cook rice in bulk, and then just take out what we need as we need it. We use basmati rice. Whole grain brown rice are also very similar in macros, but we have basmati rice. just because we prefer the taste. Brown and whole grain rice can be quite dry, so this is just down to our preference in taste, nothing fancy about it. Another good carb source, potatoes, something else that you can have in so many different ways, so you can't go wrong with them. Just to put it into perspective, potatoes can be quite a good one because you get a lot for your macros. Say when it comes to a post-workout meal, I could either have around 250 grams of potatoes or about 120, 130 grams of rice. So of course you don't want to be eating the same food day in, day out. You want to switch it up a bit. So you can switch it up, but I'd recommend using an app like MyFitnessPal, and then if you just take a little bit of time to work out these alternatives and ways you can fit the foods into your macros, it can be done. Like I say, it does just take that little bit of effort and that little bit of time. If you need a hand with it, give me an email. I'll try my best to sort you out. It took me so long to get my head around. James still helps me all the time. So if that is something that you struggle with, give me a shout. I will do my very best. Another thing to mention, which I should probably be higher on the importance list, veggies, green stuff. Again, if you know me, I'm a nightmare for vegetables. My grandma used to have to bribe me to eat 10 peas at a meal. So I'm a little bit better than that now. I'm trying to be a little bit more adventurous with my food. Now I'm out here in Melbourne, you can't not be, there's so much to try. But the main greens I go for are spinach and cucumber. One of the reasons being is that there's just nothing to them, it's just like water. So you can load up and have a lot of them, but it doesn't really go into your calories. James is a bit more adventurous. He has broccoli, asparagus, any greens that he can get his hands on. But like I say, I play a bit more safe. But that's just me. I don't like things that feel weird in your mouth. It creeps me out. And then just a few other things that may or may not help. When it comes to cravings, I have such a sweet tooth, and I don't know if any of you can relate. I mentioned it on a previous video. Keeping things in the house like Pepsi Max. When you get those cravings, have a glass of Pepsi Max. Can help with hunger, hopefully curb that craving. Kind of similarly, I always keep a bowl of jelly ready to go in the fridge as well. This is something that they have out in Australia, which is called Jelly Light. But I know in the UK there's like 10 calorie jelly, which is so good. It saved me on prep. I used to look forward to it every day. But yeah, that's a really good alternative, keeps me away from the cheesecake. Also, if you're someone who gets bored of drinking water all day, green tea, and I'm also stocked up on different fruit teas as well, thank you to my mum. Again, it's a great alternative. If you're feeling a bit munchy or hungry, there's some statistics that says 80% of the time you're just dehydrated, something like that. So try getting a big drink down you first, see if the cravings disappear. And then I also just wanted to show you a few different condiments that we use. So just making little choices like this, it can lead to making a big difference. The tomato sauce that we have is no added sugar. We've discovered this mustard over here, which has nothing in it but tastes incredible. And when it comes to cooking your meats, again in the UK there's a really good 1 calorie spray to use. Out here they don't have anything quite as good that we've found yet, so we've just got an olive oil spray, and a little spray in a pan is always going to be better than pouring a glug of the oil itself. So like I say, these little choices, it can make a big difference in the long run. So I think that's just about everything. I hope that this has been some help. As I say, I'm so sorry if this has been dull. I do like to keep it simple through the week. As I've mentioned before, I love to be organised, smash all my meal prep out so that everything's ready to go, and then I'll just have 1 or 2 days a week where I eat what I want, and that's when the cheesecake comes into play. But no, in all seriousness, if there's anything that I can help with, any questions that you have, or like I say, if you need any help with using these kind of MyFitnessPal apps or structuring your diet, hit me up with an email, and between me and James, we'll do our best to help out. Like I said at the beginning, eating well doesn't have to be about eliminating any food groups or any kind of fad or 30-day challenge. I've been there, I've done that. It's not sustainable. It's about making those good choices and getting into good routines and healthy habits, because everyone has seen it go wrong, the bad habits that you can fall into, and it can become quite scary in some people how it can take such a hold on them. So if you're in need of help, ask for help, whether it's me or someone else, and I'll do my very best. Thank you so much for listening.